All right, I lost everything. Here we go. Hello, good morning or good afternoon, depending on where you are. Welcome to Trauma, Truths, and Talks. I am Dr. Isela Garcia.
And I'm Nina Vasquez.
And we are super excited. Today is Friday.
I love Friday.
And you know what I love about Friday? I get to sleep in tomorrow.
Yay! Do you sleep in? Ever?
Yes.
Okay.
I always sleep in. I do not like waking up in the morning, and I don't care how early I go to bed. I am just not an early riser. A good time for me to get out of bed naturally and feel good is like 8:30.
Oh.
And I do not like waking up early. Like I'm grumpy and just like get out of my way, get out of my space kind of thing in the morning. So I'm like, it's Friday, tomorrow I get to sleep in.
I like the thought of sleeping in, but I wake up by like 7:30.
Do you? And you like get out of bed, like start your day. Yeah.
I don't know if I get out of bed anymore. And back in the day when I like had mandatory to work out right away, I would, but sometimes I stay in bed and read or,
yeah,
whatever else.
That's what I do. So I'm working on my books. And so I will often pull, because I have a little Chromebook that I keep near me when I'm sleeping, which is different than this whole setup. And so sometimes I'll work on my books when I wake up. Sometimes I'll read. Sometimes I meditate, kind of quietly lie there and connect with spirit. And so I just like the slow transition into the day.
Me too. Me too.
My husband is up, like he's not up on the days he goes to work, but on the weekends, like 5:30, 6:00, he's out of the bed. He's like,
oh, wow.
When the weather is nice, he's outside washing the car, or he goes to the gym, or he's doing the laundry. And that is not my deal.
That's that testosterone cycle they have, Yeah, I like to, during the week, I like to journal and meditate and go slow. I need a whole hour of going slow before I can start doing stuff. But on the weekend, it's here. I don't have any like specific routine anymore. I just like to go slow.
I have a 16-year-old that I get her to school, so I have to drive her to school. And so it's like I have to get out the door in the morning. And so I don't get to have that like slow transition. And this morning I said to my husband, I am, we've got one kid, and I was like, I'm glad I have one, and I don't have like two more to go after her, because I am ready for just like getting up when I want to and not having to take her to school and all of the things you do as a mom,
I don't blame you.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to that time.
Yeah, it's coming around the corner.
It is. And, a lot of people have said to me, oh, you're going to miss. And I'm like, no. Like, oh, you're going to miss when she was a baby. I'm like, no, I don't really. I'm going to miss when she's 4-year-old. I'm like, no, I enjoyed it at the time and I appreciated it. And I loved every experience because I did a lot and we did things together. But I'm like, no, no.
That's the idea of being in the past,
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah.
So
what are we doing today, Nina?
We are letting spirit guide our conversation today. So we can pull some cards.
Okay.
If you have the other fun cards, we can do that. I also have some cards that are not whatever spirit says.
Cards. Love being cards.
Love being cards.
These are my cards, and I want to tell people, if you've never seen us before and you landed here, we were just kind of chatting a little bit about who we are. We want you to get to know us. Like we really, it's not just let's come in and do business. Like we want you to know and feel comfortable with who we are. Because I really think that, when you find your people, when you find your group, I don't like to use the term tribe. I think that's a stolen term. So I try to stay away from that. That's often used in the, when people are describing community. when you find your community, you got to vibe with the people who are really facilitating the experience. You
Definitely.
just got to resonate with them. If it's not us, find your community.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that's why we chat. That's why we tell our stories. So I want to tell you my quick story about my cards.
Oh,
So, I come from working in diverse communities, marginalized communities that often are not represented in print, represented in books, represented in storytelling. We're just not represented. Marginalized communities include people of color, people from the LGBTQIA plus community, people from with varying abilities and disabilities, um, people from just different, just being, neurodivergent, people. I just say all of the people who are often othered, people who
mhm.
are often othered, right? And so my goal was to capture the people in my images. And so I just opened this one. So this is my representation of relationships. And I also have people of different shapes and sizes because we are often othered. I worked really, really hard at finding representation I worked hard at not, it's like that fine line between stereotypical and representing communities. And that was a really hard struggle with me. I walked and talked and worked through this with good friends of mine, who looked at all of the cards and were, made me think about things like, is this really what you want to capture here? And I also captured the angels, the archangels, in the way that I see them.
Mm.
So Archangel Nathaniel looks like this. And I'm sorry if this upsets you and you think Archangel Nathaniel is supposed to be white. I hate to be the one to tell you, but Archangel Nathaniel doesn't have a body. Okay. Archangel Nathaniel is an essence.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And so this is how I see Archangel Nathaniel. Okay. And so if this resonates with you, there's Archangel Ariel.
No.
If this resonates with you, he's my favorite. Archangel Uriel is my favorite.
Is
Archangel
he?
Uriel, he's like, he has this softness. He reminds me of my guide. So I have three guides. But Anthony is the guide that looks, and well, I don't want, doesn't look like Uriel, but feels like Uriel. Just this softness and the safety. The energy I just love. Archangel Raziel, um, also has this softness to him.
Mhm.
And so my cards are diverse and represent.
Yeah,
And
they are. They're quite beautiful. And I am looking at one that says show up. I unapologetically show up as I am. And I didn't pull this card, but I just see this woman, powerful, feminine being,
yeah,
that is unapologetically showing up in her expression of herself, whatever that expression is.
yeah.
It's really beautiful. That was the
When
one
I
that I was on at the time, but
early on in my career in early childhood education, I worked in an early childhood program, and the director of the program used to hire people intentionally who were all different types of people. So we had people who had and at the time, you got to remember, this was a long time ago, who were sleeved up tats, who had piercings, who we've had. We had people who had varying abilities. It was such a diverse, and I hadn't even thought about that, like the
oh, yeah.
importance of that, before I started working at this place. And so it's a really integral part of how I show up in the world, is to be inclusive of all people. So that's what kind of made me make cards like this.
I
Oh,
love
look at
it.
another one. See, music, she's
Yes,
dancing. There we go.
I
All right, so
love it.
how about we pull two cards each,
Okay.
Nina?
Okay.
Okay. So we're going to do one. This is what we're going to do. Me one, Nina two, me three, Nina four. Okay.
Okay.
So pick a card, 1, 2, 3, or 4. All right. All right. Here's the first one. Got it in my hand. The way that I do it, it doesn't need to be the way you do it, is I fan it and I hear the word stop. And sacred integration. I'm moving into wholeness.
Hmm.
So, sacred integration is really our process of identifying parts of ourselves. Oftentimes, these are our an inner child within us that, when things happen and we're activated, it's oftentimes the little girl or the little boy or the little child who's inside of us, who's afraid, who hasn't been seen, who wants love, connection, and affection. It's the part of us that was left unhealed, and so that's what often is showing up for us. So the journey is to actually begin to connect with those parts within us, because it's not just that part. It could also be our teenage self, and it also could be our 22-year-old self, and it also could be the one who steps forward to protect us. And so there are lots of different parts of ourselves. And so the idea, or the goal, I guess, if I was going to say, the intent is to kind of reconnect to those parts of ourselves and to accept them and to love them and to give them, to listen to them and to give them all the things that they probably needed during that period in your life. So
Mhm.
sacred integration is a significant part of the sacred journey.
Awesome.
And you need to be doing this.
I,
I'm not
I, I
going to tell
want
you
to
what you need, but you need to be doing this.
I want to ask you for like, do you have like a one, like one maybe action item that somebody listening, if they chose that card, if they could
Yes.
take? Mhm.
Thank you, Nina. Yeah. So, one of the very first things is to just get to know that little person inside of you, the child inside of you. And so, the way that I suggest doing this is to just um, get quiet in a space, like a space where you feel safe and cozy, whatever's comfortable to you. And then imagine yourself meeting your 4-year old self in your mind's eye.
Hmm.
Imagine yourself um, meeting, connecting with, talking with your 4 or 5-year old self. And let her or him, them, just talk to you. What are they interested in? What do they want to tell you? Even if it's a story, just start connecting with that part within you and spend time, even if it's just a couple minutes, just reconnecting, because they have a lot to say.
Mhm.
And sometimes the only time that they get to say things is when you've been activated and they are crying or screaming or tantruming, because they're not understanding what's happening. And the way that comes out with us is going to vary according to who we are and our experiences of life and that sort of thing. But when we pay attention to when we're activated, it's oftentimes that little child within us.
Yeah, I love that idea.
Mhm.
Awesome.
Your turn. Number
Okay.
2.
All right. So number 2 is I am.
That's a big one.
I declare my worth. And I really find this very interesting because I just started reading, I think it's back there, Neville Goddard's collection. And the first chapter was talking about I am the I am. Yeah. And I think I got like a different, let me grab it. Yeah, I must have got a different one, but still probably the same. I got
It's all
this.
the same. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all the same books.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And it was talking about I am that I am, right? That was like what I was reading this morning. And he also used the word declare. And I think this is so powerful. So, what's hitting me to share is the word declare is almost like demand.
Mm.
I declare my worth, meaning I value myself at
Mhm.
this level, right? The level of I am. So I demand what? What do you demand in your life? Right? What do you declare in your life
Right.
at the level that you value yourself or the level you believe you're worthy?
Yep.
That's what came to me. I don't really have a exercise.
I do for that one. If this is new to you, the I am of declaring your sense of self, of who you truly are. And as Nina said, you start from where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
I think in varying levels of where you're at, I think everybody can kind of do this. So you're going to look at yourself in the mirror,
Mm-hmm.
and you're just going to identify one thing about yourself. It could be something that you see. It could be something that you believe. It could be a skill set that you have, but you're going to say, look at my amazingness.
Mm-hmm.
And so you put that, whatever it is that you identify. Maybe you love your eyebrows. Maybe you love you love a physical part of your body. You love your hair. Or it could be, I'm really good at whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you say, look at my amazingness.
I love that.
Yeah.
Love it. Thank you.
All right. So, Gia,
Huh?
my kid, I'm like, you need to go to class. So my Instagram, my daughter, I was like, are you watching me? Okay, here we go. Second card, number 3. So if you chose number 3, here's your card. Okay. Archangel Azrael. Oh, this is a powerful card. My friend said to me, he was looking at my cards. I'm like, why is Archangel Azrael hot?
Right.
I'm like, because that's how I see him.
You got to represent.
Archangel Azrael is an angel that I've worked quite a bit with. He's the angel of transition. He's also called the angel of death. So often Archangel Azrael shows up during that transition from form back into spirit. And so I have historically helped people cross. People stay stuck and are afraid to cross over. And but the reason why Archangel Azrael is showing up today is because this is a huge transitional, pivotal moment in our lives. Okay, so there's lots of transitions happening currently. There are transitions. I think in our country, if you are in the United States, there are transitions that are happening globally because as we transition here, there will be implications that will affect the global experience as well. So this is a time for great transition. He's also wanting me to say that this is a significant time for us to continue our own internal transformation. So the internal transformation is the power that we have. It's what you just said about the I am. It's the power that we have of awareness and to recognize that despite all the things that are happening around us, that we still are light, love. We still light, love, peace, and happiness. So we can access that despite all that is happening around us. Okay.
I love that. For some reason, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, were you going to say something about this?
No.
Okay. So number 4.
Okay. Actually, I will. It keeps coming back to me. Maybe the I am. In your meditation or quiet space that you're in, if you can sit with, it's very hard for me to bring language to what keeps coming to me. If you can imagine that your body, your being, the energy around you, if you can, with eyes closed, imagine it expanding into all that is, into all that is in front of you, into all that is around you, into and then you can use the word I am, but just allow yourself to be a part of all that is. And that's what's coming to me right now. Like really allowing yourself to be in that space.
Yeah. So that is a very common, I guess. experience that can be used for grounding and connecting with source. And so that what you just described is exactly it. You get quiet and you feel the energy moving through your body, and then you extend out and you feel the energy kind of exuding from your body. And then it reaches out like in your where your setting is.
Yes.
And then it reaches outside.
Yes.
Reaches in your city, and then you just keep expanding.
Yes.
Your energy.
Keep going. Yeah.
Keep going.
Expanding it. And I'm doing it as you're talking. So you don't have to have your eyes closed, but that is what was really just landing for me to bring up, because right before Isela and I go on, Isela has crafted this amazing message that we, what would you call it? Declare, something that we declare, that we read aloud together. And as I'm reading it, I am sending my energy out. And so we don't have to close our eyes.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks, Spirit, because that would not go away. I'm like, okay.
And you trusted that. That's the big thing. One of the things that whispers of the universe, right? Like you very easily could have kept going. And been like, okay, let's go. Because I was like, do you have anything to say about, Archangel Azrael? And you were like, no. But then you were like, no, I want to go back to the I am. Yes. So that was a nudge from the universe. And the more we can hear those nudges and act upon them, the more in alignment we are in our day-to-day experiences.
Yeah. And, Isela has been helping me, redirecting me back to myself when what my mind does is kind of think that it's my mind and not spirit, right? Or it's my mind and not my soul, right? So anyway, yeah, thank you for that reminder of just listen to the whisper.
And does it feel good? Does it feel good? Does it feel light? Does it feel, if there's a sense of urgency behind it, then that's not spirit.
Okay. Oh, that's a good tip to remember, because I definitely know there's places where I felt a sense of urgency in my life. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's ego. Okay.
Yep. Yeah.
Okay. And I kind of do it a little different than Isela. I kind of just like go like this. And then I have a knowing of when I'm supposed to stop. Yeah. Okay. And number 4 is beauty. I give myself permission, to acknowledge my true beauty. Oh, I like that one. I give myself permission to acknowledge my true beauty. The words that came to me was, be who you are. Be who you are and acknowledge the beauty in who you are. There is no one else like you. And so that does take some practice, because many of us are, definitely conditioned out of being like, I am beautiful, right? Like really being who you are. And, one thing I'll share about my own journey is when you have a trauma responsive fawning, you kind of don't realize who you are, and you try to be everyone else around you. And you can't see your true beauty as enough. And so the invitation for you is to really acknowledge how beautiful you are. And I'm not talking about just on the outside. Yes, you're beautiful on the outside as well, but you as a being, you are unlike no one else.
There's something else I want to kind of tack onto that, which is not about it is about what you said, but from a whole different angle. So one of the things that we do, one of the things I think we're taught to do, is compare ourselves to others. And so when you are evaluating, because people do that about themselves, like evaluating their beauty inside, their beauty outside, we need to, number one, not evaluate ourselves, but
Yeah.
accept who we are. And please stop comparing yourself to other people. Stop comparing yourself to friends and family, people on social media, people like, stop comparing yourself to others. My daughter and I had this conversation about a week or two ago. She was talking about there are a lot of kids her age that will follow social media influencers, and they follow them because they want to be like them or look like them. And my kid doesn't do that. She's like, I follow them because, I like how they dress and I want to have those ideas. But it's not about, I aspire to be somebody that I am not.
Yeah.
Right? You are your own person, what you said, Nina. You are you. Claim you.
I can really relate to that desire. It comes from a rootedness of I'm not enough as I am.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the wrong message.
It was. If you got that message, and if you still believe that today, I believe that if you still believe that today, it's a core belief, right? And you got the wrong message.
You got the wrong message.
Mm-hmm. A misunderstanding, actually.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And that's all it was.
Yep. And you get to choose to believe something new.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, everyone. 1, 2, 3, or 4. We pulled cards. So if you're joining us late or now, we're about to sign off. So you can rewind once it gets posted onto Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. And yeah, I hope you have a fabulous rest of your day and weekend.
Weekend. Yeah. Have a good weekend, everybody. Bye.